Alright, Dragon Ball Super fans, believe it or not, but it looks like the Universe 7 versus Universe 6 Universal Tournament is about to come to a close. And I want to do a video about my thoughts on, in terms of the Universe 6 or Team Champa fighters, how would I rank them from number 1 to number 5? Obviously, number 1 being the most powerful, number 5 being the weakest. But in terms of power, we have to look at a few different things here. It isn't so much the power levels of each individual fighter from Hit, Botamo, Magetta, Kaba, Frost. It's about their abilities and what makes them special as individuals. Because when you think about it, it goes without saying that if Goku and or Vegeta use, let's say if Goku used SS Blue from the start of the tournament, let's say if he went all out, no joking around, no holding back, he would have swept the entire team from Botamo, Frost, Magetta, and Kaba, and then eventually, met his match with Hit. I think we can all agree on that. Now, if I were to rank them, and again, we're only looking at Team Champa. The 5 fighters, not Beerus, not Whis, not Champa, not Goku, not Vegeta. It goes without saying that number 1 obviously has to be Hit. Literally, there's no question that this guy is the most powerful fighter of the team. And really, there's nothing much to say because he massacred blue-haired Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I mean, the only time we've only seen Super Saiyan Blue get dominated was by a 100% powered Golden Frieza. Yes, Vegeta dominated Golden Frieza in the movie and Dragon Ball Super, but remember, this was a weakened Frieza after Goku pretty much, wore him out. Pretty much almost like batteries, Golden Frieza's AA batteries began to run out when he was dominating Goku. Then Vegeta stepped in and wiped the floor. So again, Hit takes the number 1 spot without question. Now, number 2 is kind of difficult. You'll find that spots 2 and 3 are going to be tied, where you have a difficult time, a difficult battle here. Now, I think Magetta is without a doubt the number 2 fighter, even though it is kind of tough because you got to think of a couple factors here. The reason I place Magetta at number 2 is because during the fight with Vegeta, it looks like every time that Magetta was like beating on himself, like, his head and his body. You remember how Kid Buu kind of did like this 8 thing during the fight with Goku? He would like pound on his chest and make noises and then attack. Magetta would do a similar thing, and then the lava in his body would like, get hotter. And Vegeta noticed that his attack and speed increased every time he did that. So Magetta earns the number 2 spot because of his power being enough to push Vegeta to go Super Saiyan for 1. And number 2, the fact that with his teapot attack or heat up attack, basically, his temperature rises and his attack and speed increase. I would say that it might take him a while to get his strength up to the point where he can defeat Hit, but let's just put him in number 2 for now because of that ability. I always think of him as like the Kaioken like user. The reason being the Kaioken was like a red hot fiery attack where Goku would use and power up, which would have been really cool to see Goku versus Magetta with that. But again, Magetta earned that spot because again, he can power up and he can tank attacks. I don't know who's more durable, and again, this will be discussed later in the video, Botamo or Magetta, because think about it, Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan Blue, but Super Saiyan Vegeta used a Gallic gun, which was overpowered by the lava attack, but his final flash overpowered the lava attack from Magetta, if I'm not mistaken, where Magetta took the attack, and then Vegeta went on the offense with that huge punch that it blocked. Then he insulted Magetta, and then he fell out the ring. So Magetta is extremely durable. I think when it comes down to it, I think Botamo might be more durable if what Jocko said was right about him transmitting the impact of attacks to other dimensions or other realms, meaning that Botamo could potentially take any strike dealt to him. But again, let me get to that later in the video. So again, so far we got Hit at number 1 because he dominated SS Blue, Magetta at number 2 because he not only pushed Vegeta to go Super Saiyan, but with his ability to, power up, his strength increases and his speed. So again, he's a number 2. Number 3 is a tough one because you got to look at Kaba and Frost. One thing I didn't quite like about the whole fight between Vegeta and Kaba, I did enjoy the fight, was the fact that Vegeta said that more or less Kaba and Vegeta are equals in base form. And this kind of struck me as odd because you have to look at it this way. I take it that when Vegeta said base form, he meant base form, not Saiyan beyond God, which is the form that Goku and Vegeta reached after becoming Super Saiyan. Well, excuse me. Goku reached this particular form after becoming a Super Saiyan God and then absorbing the power in his base form. Almost like Ultimate Gohan, where he has his base form. He can still go Super Saiyan 1 and 2, and then Ultimate Gohan is above all, but he still looks like he's in base form. So I'm assuming, and here I really shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming that Vegeta was in base form, not Saiyan beyond God form when he fought Kaba, meaning that, you know, Kaba was able to go toe-to-toe with a Saiyan who had the power of a Super Saiyan God, Whis' training, and in 3 years of training in the time chamber. And it struck me as odd because if Kaba was indeed equal to base form Vegeta, then how come he never went Super Saiyan up until the point where Vegeta showed him how to do it? I mean, Kaba being that strong but never once going Super Saiyan, you know, the fact that Saiyans in Universe 6 were hired as, you know, they were good guys who were hired to go after bad guys. You would think during one point during a fight, you know, Kaba would get angry because he was losing and people were dying, he would go Super Saiyan. Apparently that never happened. So think of it this way. When he advances to Super Saiyan 1, it looks like he's putting up a good... Put it this way. Vegeta tanked a hit right to his face from Kaba. I think it goes without saying that in both base form and then Super Saiyan 1, Vegeta was only testing Kaba. He wasn't going all out. Like, as I did in another video before the fight between Kaba and Vegeta occurred, I mentioned that the only reason that Vegeta would go SS Blue was to demonstrate the form to Kaba, not because Kaba pushed him to it. And I really think that, you know, okay, Vegeta, Kaba, I taught you how to go Super Saiyan, but let me show you your full potential, what you can really do. And that's why he told Kaba when he punched him out, don't forget this pain, because I feel like that was his inspiration. Kaba, keep training. You can reach this level 2. Do your thing. So the fact that Kaba was easily... Well, excuse me, Vegeta was able to easily take a punch from Kaba. I mean, when he first went Super Saiyan and then used that one punch that Vegeta blocked, and it looked like the impact of the punch went through Vegeta's back. Vegeta was underestimating Kaba. He felt like, you know, hey, this guy just went Super Saiyan, but he's not anywhere near where I am. I felt like that was a throwback to the Goku, or in this case, since Super happened before Goku versus Oob, a foreshadowing of things to come where Goku fought Oob. Remember when he finally pissed off Oob? Oob went rushing in, threw a powerful kick, which Goku blocked. You know, if you look at Goku's face during that fight, he just blocked it like, okay, he's finally getting serious. He underestimated Oob's power, so when the kick hit his arm got numb, and that's when he got punched out. I feel the same thing happened here where Vegeta blocked the punch, but the impact was so strong that you saw the energy go out of his back. But then as the fight went on, you know, when Kaba was throwing some kicks, double axled him into the tournament floor and started blasting with like a million energy blasts, and Vegeta was smiling because it's like, okay, I finally got this guy to unleash his power. And then he didn't get serious, but he just took the punch to the face with nothing. So I don't think that Kaba was equal to Vegeta in base form, because here's why. If Kaba was equal to base form Vegeta, and let's just, you know, again, let's try to assume that the 50 times multiplier is applicable to Universe 6. If Kaba went Super Saiyan, he and Vegeta should have been equal in terms of power, but not experience, because again, this was a raw, untrained Super Saiyan that was attacking Vegeta. It was like a pure rage Super Saiyan, which is potentially more dangerous than a mastered Super Saiyan, but you get what I'm saying here. Because even though, let's say if Kaba and Vegeta were indeed equal, when Kaba threw that punch that Vegeta took without flinching, it should have done some damage. But the fact that that punch did nothing to Vegeta, who was smiling, that lets me know that, you know, Vegeta was probably egging him on, like, you know, hey, we're about kind of equal here, especially when their Gallic guns matched each other. But again, I don't think Vegeta was going all out. And the reason I did all that talking about it was because you have to look at Frost now, who in first form, I think Kaba, no, without a doubt, you know, depending on how you figure him and Vegeta being on par in base form, if that was indeed true, if Kaba was indeed as powerful as Vegeta in base form, I think that before going Super Saiyan, Kaba will be able to compete with Frost up into Assault form, because remember, Assault form Frost had Goku on the run, But then again, it's difficult to say that because Goku said that while he had eaten so much before coming to the tournament, he needed to like loosen up, exercise. So I would say that, yeah, Assault Form Frost, I say might be more powerful than Base Form Kaba. But then you have to take into consideration that Final Form Frost, who said he's not able to fully control his power, almost like Frieza before training for 4 months. Ooh. He did make Goku go Super Saiyan, I will say that much. But then, again, you have to look at it this way. Goku purposely said he was holding back against Frost because he thought he was a good guy. I don't want to beat you up too badly. Just surrender. And then Vegeta comes in and then decks Frost in one punch. Again, Frost was weakened by Goku, but if Goku, put it this way, if Vegeta used the same uppercut that he used on Frost, let's say if Goku and Vegeta switch places, let's say Vegeta was the one to fight Frost. Frost goes Final Form, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan. I think that the same thing would have happened. Like if Frost got uppercutted by Vegeta, who gave him a full power punch as Super Saiyan, I think Frost would have been defeated in one hit. Without a doubt, I really do think that's possible. But the fact that Kaba threw that powerful punch that Vegeta took to the face without flinching at all, I think that Final Form Frost and Super Saiyan Kaba going at it, I think that would be a good fight. But in the end, I think Frost, and I'm not even talking about the Poison Needle. This is completely without the Poison Needle. We're just talking about like power right now. I think Frost might edge it out. And the reason I say might is the fact that, number one, he said he never fully mastered his final form. And number two, Kaba is a new Super Saiyan. We're not talking about a full power Super Saiyan here. We're just talking about a guy who just unlocked his Super Saiyan power. I think that if it boils down to it, I think that continuing with his training as a mastered Super Saiyan, I really do think that Kaba could take the win. And then if Frost did the same, again, I want to make it fair somewhat. If Kaba trained to master his Super Saiyan power, and then Frost trained to master his final form, I don't know, he might pull a Golden Frost at some point. I don't know. But I really think that Frost takes the win. I really do think that Frost would take the win. And you might say, well, hey, if Vegeta in one hit took out Frost, and I do think that if he fought Frost at 100%, the same thing would have happened. But hey, he hit Kaba, but I'm sorry. I really think that in the end, Frost would take the win. I think that Frost would take the win there. Now, Botamo, I feel, and again, I said we're not talking in terms of power, but if we were judging it in terms of power, I think that Botamo is the weakest. Here's why. Botamo, to me, reminded me of Bacterian from Dragon Ball, where Bacterian was physically strong, but his strength lied in his stench rather than his physical abilities. With his stench being so bad that, fighters had to use only one hand because they would use one hand to cover their nose and one hand for attacking. And Bacterian being a huge guy, he was, decently strong. I'll say decently strong because obviously he's stronger than the average human given his size. But when it came down to it, Botamo is able to tank anything. And I think that if Super Saiyan Blue or Hit, if they were to attack Botamo, the same thing would happen that Goku did, where he would punch, kick, Kamehameha, but nothing inflicted damage on him. And the only reason Goku won was because he threw him out of bounds. And if I'm not mistaken, in the manga and the anime, Goku said that, wow, it's a good thing I could win by ring out, because if not, it would have been a difficult battle. I don't know how it would take him out. And right before he grabbed Botamo, he's like, wow, that was easy. For a guy with such good defense, it looks like you used that as an excuse to slack off on your training, meaning that Botamo isn't a mastered or a polished fighter. And he does seem to be a bit slow. I'm not judging it based off his weight, but it looks like he compensates for his lack of speed by his ability to, bounce around the arena like a ping pong ball. And I really think that's what happened in the manga, where, if I'm not mistaken, he tried using mouth blast on Goku, but Goku ran around the ring jumping and dodging to work off the food. So I think in the anime it was a bit different when Botamo was, throwing himself like a ping pong ball around the barriers, and Goku had a hard time trying to dodge. I feel like that's his way of compensating for his lack of speed. And as Goku said, I think that the fact that he's so defensive worthy, he's like, hey, you can hit me over and over again, I could tank anything you throw. That was his reason for not being, well-polished fighter. And again, I think his ping pong ball technique is to compensate for the speed, but he might not be a good martial artist. And I think that if he was, that would make him almost nearly invincible, you know, where he doesn't have any blind spots like Goku did. That's how he was able to grab him by the legs. So again, if I were looking at, here's how I rank the fighters. Hit's number 1, Vegeta's number 2, Frost just edges it out at number 3, Kaba right behind, and then finally Botamo. And that's how I would personally rank the fighters of Team Champa. Now, another question I wanted to bring up is, are these 5 really the best that Universe 6 has to offer? And the reason I say really is because, remember, Kaba got a false impression of the power and speed of Goku and Vegeta, because in the manga, or excuse me, the anime, where he tosses an egg to Goku and Goku's having a hard time catching it. Remember that these two were wearing these, I have no idea how much they weighed, I don't even think they mentioned it yet, these very, very heavy weight suits by Whis. And in the anime, they had just done about, 50,000 one-finger push-ups. And then they were running away from Beerus, who thought they were the ones to wake him up from his sleep, when it was actually Champa and Vado's landing. So those two were pretty exhausted, and not to mention those weighted outfits pretty much made them slow. So Champa automatically got the false impression, hey, we need to get a Saiyan on our team. But judging off of Goku's balance and speed with the weight suits, Champa really had a false impression of the best that Universe 7 had to offer. That's why he was mad at Goku when he easily outsped Botamo, saying that, hey, you lied to me. And it's like, no, back then I was wearing a weighted suit. So I feel that maybe Vados, well, if I'm not mistaken, Vado said that Champa was the one to assign her the task of getting the fighters for the team. I don't think she got the best. Maybe, I think Hit is without a doubt. Well, maybe I won't even say that. Hit is one of the most powerful of Universe 6, given the fact that he's a legendary hitman. It wouldn't surprise me if Hit is indeed the strongest of Universe 6. Well, maybe he's like top tier, top 3. But I think there's more out there. Because, Botamo, if you look closely at Team Champa, most of the fighters aren't really that powerful, but they have abilities to make them last long as Goku and Vegeta, being that Vegeta is more or less almost indestructible. Like, he can tank almost anything. I think Botamo can tank anything. Vegeta, I would say that Botamo is number 1 with durability. Vegeta is right behind him. And then, you have Frost, Hit, and Kaba kind of like, in the last 3 spots there. So I really did find that interesting about this tournament. It wasn't about all-out power. It was about Goku and Vegeta defeating their opponents by thinking outside of the box. And I think that's what's going to make their training more effective. Oh, well, they can't just go SS Blue and just sweep the floor. They have to come up with creative strategies to outsmart their opponents. Vegeta inadvertently insulting Vegeta to the point where he couldn't fight back. He did pretty much overpower Frost. Kaba, it was more of a mentor-mentee thing. And then Botamo, for Goku, had to think outside of the box to throw him outside of the ring. And Hit, it looks like Goku pretty much figured out the time hop ability in terms of predicting Hit's move in order to defeat him. So again, I really like the tournament in terms of it's not all about power, it's about being smart. So I really did enjoy that. So again, just to kind of reiterate my point, Hit being able to take out a Super Saiyan Blue, number 1 spot. Vegeta's power-up ability and able to push Vegeta towards the edge, no pun intended here given the barrier. Frost just edging it out against Kaba. And I really would like to see those two fight again. Like Vegeta trains Kaba, Frost tries to, usurp the Saiyan. He might pull a Frieza and try to take over Planet Salad, then Kaba fights back and wins. And then Botamo, I think Botamo possibly has the most potential, because if he can work on an offense as good as his defense, he would be nearly impossible to beat. So I know this video ran a little long, but I did want to go over all the grounds on, the best that Universe 6 has to offer. I really do feel that there might be other people out there and beings or species that are more powerful than the Universe 6 fighters, maybe aside from Hit. So with that being said, please subscribe, like, share, and comment in the section below. If you disagree with my list, Hit, Vegeta, Frost, Kaba, Botamo, maybe your list is different than mine, but I think we can all agree that Hit's going to be number 1 on everybody's list. So again, let me know your thoughts below, and I'll catch you in the next video.